Hello, call me Will. I'm here in the town of Tonmerey, a real town whose name has been just formulaically rearranged a little bit in one of the many ways that we formulaically come up with ways to identify a place so that if people were really interested, they could probably figure out what it is. But we'd rather people who are not very curious or open-minded, let them, they don't need to know what we're doing. Because actually something that what we do is we talk about the way things are, and we say, some of the things that are here are not really very good. I mean, in this country is supposed to be a country with a government by the people, of the people, and for the people, and I have fun getting all. It just, it's a way I have of throwing off the spleen. You know, when my hypos get the better of me, such that it is everything I could do from keep from knocking off the hats of those guys on Wall Street. You know, in 1840s Manhattan. When Ishmael said it was time to seek the watery parts of the world. To be honest, I don't know what the right verb is. Did he say seek? Call me Ishmael. Several years ago, never mind how many exactly, I thought it was a time to seek, to blank, the watery parts of the world. And I think it's seek, and it just hit me. It's one of those things. Holy cow, is it true? If it's not true, then I'm just making this whole thing up. But if it's true that he uses the word seek, then I could just look it up right now. But nah, it's more interesting. I'll look it up, and then I'll sheepishly, I said the wrong thing. But Mahatma Gandhi said, we can each be, and we should be. He said he exhorted us to be the change, or become the change. Can't be it immediately, although actually becoming is a series of moments in which you are being what it is that you are trying to be as much as you can be. Because you can't just magically be something other than who you are. And yet, we do have this rather magical ability to learn and to grow and to change. It's just that it takes some time. And there are all sorts of things that are going on in our minds that want us to say, let's accept things the way they are. Because actually, you got to a certain extent. If you spend your entire life resisting things that seem wrong or whatever, and nothing else, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You got to accept. And as well as realize that there's so much wonderful stuff in life. So, you know, even as there's terrible injustice and we're destroying the environment and, you know, kind of right-wing ideology is starting to get more and more ingrained, and we look around each other and we see that people are becoming like automatons who are walking around. They don't learn how to talk to people except this way, through text. Text, while an, a development, a very significant development in communication and learning. Writing took what could only in the past be one person directly face to face with another person. Well, writing allowed one person to talk to anybody at any time who could read it, which is that is a quantum leap in terms of human development. It's got to be one of the top few. Then, of course, then there was the printing press, which freed people from making hand copies of things, so you could conceivably have millions of copies. Cost a lot of money to have millions of copies, but if you say we're the church, and you had, you were tithing people, the whole Western world, you were saying you got to give us a tenth of your money, and people were giving you something. Wow, you're rich, and you could do it. You could say, yeah, we're going to come out with papal bulls. this is it, and we're going to spread it around. It's very powerful. Writing is an extraordinarily powerful tool. Then another development came in which our voices at first, well, wait, I'll start off, I'll say text at first, was able to be transmitted, first through wires, telegraph, and then there was a time when it then became without wires, which is very incredible, radio. And then this next piece, not only spoken words, but visual images. Oh my gosh. What developments happened? And this is probably pretty much end of the 19th century and into the 20th century. Several developments, each of which, you think writing started when? In Egypt, 5,000 years ago. Gutenberg came along with the printing press in the 1400s, I think. And then we went into this hyper thing. I mean, the Industrial Revolution, all sorts of technologies, all sorts of infrastructure that nobody ever dreamed of could happen before. And whereas we look back at the early 20th century and think, oh my gosh, it was compared to now. I mean, think how long it took for the congressman in California to go to Washington and back. How much money and what kind of time lag there was. If there was an issue here in California and that needed to be addressed in Washington, in 1905, it still took a long time to get there. 1925, well, even then, the flying wasn't quite really there yet. In another 30 years or something. Yes. World War II really helped, Yeah, let's have a war so we can develop greater and greater technology. I mean, that's another piece. The ability to be face-to-face within a day or two, anywhere in the world. Oh my gosh, that's another development. The 20th century was incredible, and the 20th century gave us all sorts of other amazingly powerful, though not necessarily as positive, technologies, such as nuclear fission, which could be used positively, except, as we've seen in Fukushima, if you're going to create energy safe, suppose your energy for good purposes, you're using nuclear fission for not to kill people, but to be a positive thing, sure. But you'd better be prepared for, a tsunami. You better be prepared. But you know what? If you're not prepared, then so what? So a lot of people die prematurely. Hell. What about global warming? Oh, it doesn't exist. We don't need to worry about that. We can show you scientists who say that global warming, well, look, climatologists have known for a long time, goes up and down, and that's just what's going on. It's God's will. It's God's will that we continue to pollute. Excuse me. Yes, I can hear Bernie. Excuse me, I think that's a bunch of See, I used to get in trouble for talking like this, but now I'm not talking like this. It's Boyney, right? It's Boyney talking like this. It's not me. You see, it's not me. You can't even see my face. It's just Boyney getting very, very angry. Not at you, the listener. I mean, in fact, I want to thank you for listening. And actually, I've got to stop. I'm almost at 10 minutes, and I can go on forever and ever, and you don't want that, and I don't want that. So I'm going to say, I'll just say, your name, this town is called, I started off, I never finished it. So we're going to finish in that. Tonmerey is the first letter of the second syllable. Yes, stupid. This is one of my Apple. I have a whole set of stuff that I haven't yet published. They're called Apple rants. Ooh, Apple, you deserve a break today. You deserve your fucking nose broken. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I got way overboard. I'm sorry. said a bad word. I know. And I allowed my true feelings concerning the miracle, the apple. I find the apple being that's a very interesting symbol. The apple. The apple. Knowledge or something else. Anyway, I happen to be very angry for the fact that when I'm using this monitor, this is just what comes with an app. I have a 2013 MacBook Pro with iMovie, and it has the QuickTime that came with it. And both of those reverse the image as I'm talking. So before, I wanted to be in the dark. I mean, this is better. This is better than this, right? If I'm going to say two, it's really clear. Two. But every single thing I'm doing is a backwards. Apple, what is this? You don't even give me an option. I can't go up here and flip it. It should be flipped in the first place because this is the built-in camera. The whole purpose of the camera is to be able to do what I'm doing. And yet I have to interrupt my thought process to say, what? I wanted this. I didn't want this. Do you I've been doing this for a long time, but to be honest with you, the people say, well, just get it. Just start using the right hand. Just do the opposite. Well, excuse me. It takes cognitive cycles to flip things around in your head. To do this is freaking me out because from my view, this hand of mine is over that way. You see, as far as I know, when I turn, now I realize it's not that way. I know it's this way. But I'm trying to keep my eyes on. I want to be talking to you. I don't want to be looking at my hand. You see, if I look at my hand, I know which hand. If I say this, if I look down and say, well, even now, you see, I'm raising this hand. But in my view, you see that window over there that looks like it's to my right. But you see, everything I'm doing, I'm not faking it. I'm just naturally acting out what I'm thinking. An apple, which is so cool. I mean, look, even now, I have to be taking my attention and saying, no, don't go this way. No, that's the wrong way. You want to go this way. Apple, shame on you. And I ain't finished, but I'm sorry, that was 3 minutes. So I just needed to finish Tonmerey. Okay, that's where I got off. I just did it again, you see? And these are things that Apple's been putting out year after year. This is iMovie 11. There was iMovie 9. There was iMovie 7. And I don't know what before. Time after time. And you can't tell me that nobody has complained about this or has asked to at least have the option to flip it so that people could use it without having an extra cognitive burden while they are trying to communicate with people using their hands, because hands actually can be helpful, Let's say I was trying to show you how to do something. I'm talking to you. I'm going to show you how to tie shoes. Oh, what fun! Wrong. I would be if I'm looking at this. If I'm looking at my hands, no problem. But I want to be talking to you, not to my hands. I don't want to be looking at my hands. I want to be seeing my hands in the monitor, the way you would see it. Well, forget about it. It's so. The whole thing confuses me, gets me angry. Now it's 4.5 minutes. Thank you, Apple. Thank you. I really didn't need your excuse to go on an extra 4 minutes. And yet, it's a very interesting question. How did this happen? Apple is one of the most brilliant companies in the world. And yet, this is not their only little weirdo little thing. Not at all. And anybody who thinks that the reason they don't get something in Apple is because they're not all that good at computers. See, Apple plays on that. They play on people who are much more artsy and they're not good at computers. So, if you don't understand how to do it, well, come on, it's there somewhere. You just have to find it's all intuitive. Ah! Oh, Apple, I'm sorry. It makes me angry, as you can tell. We're gonna finish this up someday. Hey, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I know. I mean, they're telling me just stop it. Explain. Tonmerey is a town in that the second. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. That's it. This is the one. There it is. Okay, the second syllable starts with the letter that is now at the beginning. So at the beginning of the very beginning of the word has the letter that's the beginning of the second syllable. And the letter that normally is at the beginning of the name of the town or city. Okay? Okay, just, you see, it's distracting. It's just this little thing. And yes, I should get over it. And the reality is, if it were important for me to not allow myself to get distracted, I like to indulge in my, in explaining to people that this is the world we're entering, the world of Apple. You think different, not differently. I always wondered about that, and now I understand. Different is when it's paired with the word think. It has a meaning that is actually owned by Apple. That's what the little R with a circle. This is ours. When we use the word different, we do not mean differently. We're very intentional. Thinking differently means you think differently from other people or from yourself in the past. Right now, you're allowing yourself to think differently from just what's already been thought. That's thinking differently. That's not what they said. They said think different. Apple way. Okay, now it's getting dark. I gotta finish this frickin' thing. Here we go. Oh, so I'm almost finished, right? Can't believe it. Okay, so do you understand? I think I did it, right? I said the first letter of the second syllable is now at the beginning of the name of the city. And then the first letter of the name of the city is now at the beginning of the second syllable. Tonmerey. Okay? It's actually a little hard. It took me a little while to get it, even though it's very easy to say. But I kept not wanting to say it because I kept saying, wait, what is this? So Tonmerey. It kind of sounds like the place where the prisoner. That was quite a weirdo show. Patrick McGowan, who actually, he's responsible for one of my favorite songs because before he was the prisoner, he was secret agent. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They giving you a number and taking away your name. And with that,